Hey Reefers, Gavin from NORE here. Congratulations to Becky Nealis, May's NORE Tank of the Month winner. I was able to sit down with Becky for an exclusive interview. Join me as Becky shares her reefing journey. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay updated on all of NORE's latest videos. Let's dive in. Congratulations on winning Tank of the Month for, that's May, right? May?
Yeah.
Right. So can you tell us a bit about yourself and about how you got started in the reef keeping hobby?
A little bit about myself. I'm 47 years old, single female, but no, kidding. I got started in the hobby probably about 5 years ago. I started scuba diving, hardcore scuba diving, and decided that I needed a little bit of what I saw on my scuba adventures in my home. And started off with a little 29-gallon off-the-shelf kind of box setup with a hang-on-the-back filter, and did that for a year and didn't fail. So I said, all right, I can do this. And I upgraded to a 65 low boy and did that for a couple years and outgrew that. And then decided that I was going to go all in and decided to do the 180. And that was the biggest tank that I could fit in my house without tearing down walls. So that's where that ended up. So it's been about 5 years that I've been doing it. So
There you how long have you been a member of NORE? I know you you volunteered for the Frankenstein, didn't you?
yep, did that probably since it started. I do try and contribute as much as I can. And I think it was you guys that Jeff had just started it up, I think. And I joined right when I saw that it was a new thing in our area, because I needed the help and the resources and the expertise of everybody that I know contributes to the group. So it was
Right.
a great
That kind of led into the second part of this question here. But what does being part of this community mean to you? So you said the information and everything, but what role has NORE played to you in your reef keeping journey?
It's just provided me an outlet to be able to pick people's brains and say, all right, hey, here's what I'm dealing with. Have you seen this before? How did you handle it? What was your best solution? Or just being able to give that same feedback to others, that are maybe just starting, because I by no means know everything, and not even I learn something new every day about my tank. So just having that ability to, bounce ideas off and get solutions from other people, it's a great resource, especially if you're new in the hobby, and even if you're a veteran, to be able to contribute to help new people. I think it's a great resource.
I know, and that's what I like about NORE is
Mm-hmm.
that there's so many online forums, and Facebook groups, but with NORE, see, our Facebook group is about 1,200 right now,
Right.
but that 1,200 people is local to
Local.
Northeast Ohio. If there's something you need, you're talking to people who are close.
Yeah.
Not
And it's like, hey, do you need a hand moving a tank? Hey, do you need water? Your power's out. Hey, can I bring you my Jenny? It's that family type feel that you guys provide. It's really cool.
so. And you touched on my third question here. What initially inspired you to create your winning tank setup? So you touched on that. So now we'll go and talk a little bit about your tank. Can you provide an overview of your tank? Talk about its size, what equipment, and some key features of your tank.
Sure. It's a 180-gallon glass tank. Got it from Glass Cages. It has a shadow overflow, an external overflow, T-slot aluminum frame that I designed and built custom for it as well. The sump setup is plumbed down into the basement. So when I built when I initially set the tank up, I had to put 3 floor joist braces in the basement to provide header support to where the tank was going. The house was built in the 50s, so I wasn't going to risk it. But I have a 40-gallon breeder as the sump. So all of the plumbing and all of the filtration is down in the basement. Half of my finished basement is fish room. So the lights are reef breeders. I think they're Photon V2s, I want to say. They're not the app controlled ones. They're the version prior to that. I've got a skimmer. I've got, let's see, most Jabo wave makers, simple ones. I'm looking to upgrade those here pretty soon though. And then a Sicce DC return pump that goes from the basement up to the display tank. But I think that's about it.
Awesome. So you got yourself built out pretty good there. Yeah, we're seeing that more. I wish I could do that. I'd have to
Yeah.
run. I'd have to run like 50 feet of plumbing though. What types of corals and what types of fish do you keep in your tank? And do you have any favorites?
I've got all kinds of coral. I've finally gotten to the point where I can keep some SPS and they're doing really, really well. So I'm super happy and stoked about that. I cannot keep torches for some reason, and I cannot keep ganies for some reason. Those are the two that hate me. Fish wise, I've got a little bit of everything. I've got a wrasse, I've got a trigger, I've got an angel, I've got a couple tangs. No clowns. I recently lost them, but I've given myself the reason, an excuse to get some more fish. So I'm not quite sure what I'm looking for yet, but going to get a couple more to replace them. As far as a favorite, it kind of varies. I just got some trachees in a good trade, and I think those are going to be my new favorites for right now. And yeah, so we'll see. I like my octos. I like the sticks. I like my leather. I like zoas. I like them all for different reasons, but no real favorites really. Not yet, at least.
So, what is your approach to your aquascaping, and how did you decide on the layout for it?
Well, I had it all nice and laid out. I had a table in my basement and I taped it off with tape and I arranged all the rocks and I had it perfect. And then I went to move it and it didn't go back together the same way. So you just kind of have to make it work, throw it together, make sure that there's, the standard caves and swim throughs and, the traditional things. I'm not a fan of the just pile some rock on top of each other and hope that works. I kind of want it to look like what I saw or what I see when I'm diving. But that's kind of difficult too, because the scale is just nowhere near the same. So, but yeah, you kind of just go with what looks good and what doesn't fall over, really. I mean, I know it sounds cheesy, but it's what works for me. So.
See, it's nice having that firsthand experience of what the reef actually looks like, so you can
Yeah.
model
Yeah.
your
I like the
scape off of that.
fingers. Yeah, the fingers that'll come down and out, and the ridges and stuff that'll come through and give the swim throughs and everything. So yeah, that it did help. It did give me a perspective for sure.
So, what's your regular maintenance routine, and how do you keep your tank looking the best?
Well, I just started the moonshiners method like Jeff uses. He was one of the kind of people that I reached out to in the beginning. And I started that probably about 8 months ago now. And I really feel that has made a big difference in my tank. I haven't done a water change in probably 5 months, 6 months. So that definitely, the moonshiners does help with the trace elements and keeping everything level as far as the testing goes. I clean the glass once a week. I empty the skimmer once a week. I do my top offs once a week. I mean, the maintenance is really minimal, to be perfectly honest. I think I just cleaned the power heads. I try and do that twice a year to get all the gunk out of them. I cleaned the skimmer pump for the first time in like 2 years. But yeah, I clean it when I think it needs it or when I see that the flow's being restricted or something's not quite right. I let the tank tell me what it wants and what it needs.
Right. Now, so our last live stream, we talked about mastering vacation mode.
Yeah.
So you said you're away right now.
Yeah.
And I know moonshiners is daily dosing. How do you manage your daily dosing when you're not home to dose?
I actually have a Comore 6 head pump, a daily doser that I have hooked up to all my dailies. And that pretty much runs behind the scenes all the time, whether I'm home or not. My alkalinity and my calcium on 2 separate pumps, individuals. But the dailies for the moonshiners, they're on, like Red Sea has a 5. I wasn't willing to go that far. I got this one off of AliExpress or whatever, and it seems to be doing just fine with the minimal amounts that I have to dose. The ones that I do have to do on a regular basis, I did right before I left. And then I'll check them. I'll send a test away when I get home because I'm actually gone for 2 weeks this go around. I'll test them. I'll send out a test when I get home. I'll dose them all up to where they need to be again. But I averaged them out, and I've been doing daily to weekly doses for like the larger trace elements. So that seems to be working real well with that process.
Good, good.
Yeah. Yep.
Now,
Yep.
we've talked about your dosing and everything. What kind of parameters do you aim for? How do you monitor and maintain them?
Pretty much the standard. The rule of thumb, I think, is well, I'm a little bit of I'm a dirty water kind of girl, but I keep my nitrates around 20. My phosphates are at least 0.1 or more. pH it fluctuates like on a daily basis up and down with the day, but it usually starts out about 8.1, 8.15, and then it'll run up to about 8.4 during the day and then come back down. Let's see, calcium, I try and keep it at 420. I've been having it a little low lately, which is weird. But then my alkalinity is typically about 9-ish, give or take. And I really don't test magnesium because the tests are junk. So I don't really. But I do send out the ICP test. I was doing that once a month to do the moonshiners. But now I do it once every 2 to 3 months now that I can run averages, just to make sure everything that I'm testing, I test weekly, just to make sure that those test numbers are jiving with what I'm getting like it matches up. So
now you're doing all manual tests. You don't have any automated testers, the Apex or Trident or anything.
No, I like to at least be a little bit hands-on for the amount of automation that I have with the dosing. I feel that still having some kind of hands-on read on the tank and knowing what those parameters are, so you're not kind of taken off, you're not caught off guard when things start going wrong. You can at least kind of get an idea of what's going up or down. I think that's what I like to do. It gives me an excuse to be hands-on.
What advice would you give to another reefer who's looking to create a tank like yours?
Don't expect to get it overnight or in a year or 2 years. It's not going to happen quickly. And like everybody says, nothing good in this hobby happens fast. And
I was just going to say that, and I've said it multiple times on on multiple of our videos. Yeah, nothing good happens fast.
No, and you can screw things up so quick by trying to make it perfect. Let your tank tell you what's going on. And learn to read your tank, and that's huge. If your Duncans are closed up and they're closed up for a week, there's something wrong. Duncans are huge indicators in tanks, and that's one of the first corals I recommend people to get because they're great as far as telling you when something's wrong.
How has the NORE community helped you in your reef keeping journey?
It's given me a lot of support. It's given me a sounding board, like I said, to say, hey, listen, I'm running into this issue, or hey, what do you think would be a good way to deal with this? Or, as far as just the resources that other people and the knowledge that other more experienced people have. And ideas from the new people too. The new people that join the group, they may look at something and go, well, why don't you try this? And they're the one. I want to say that I rely on those people to keep me up to date on the newest, greatest, coolest stuff, and it's like, well, have you tried this? No, I've not heard of that. Oh, well, it's new. Okay, well, that's why I've not heard of it. So, having that resource to bring in the new ideas and the new stuff, that's one of the major things.
Right. What do you think sets your tank apart from others, making it the Tank of the Month winner?
I don't know. I think it just is me. And, it's just an extension of me, and I'm a little different, and it makes me happy to see that it's doing well and that it's finally gotten to that point where I can share it and feel okay about sharing it. So, yeah, I guess that's it. I don't know.
And any future plans or projects you have in mind for your tank?
Not this tank. No, this tank is going to be on autopilot from now on. I'm hoping not to have to do too much with it, but hopefully somewhere down the line. I've got a 40-gallon cube all in one up in the office. I've got a little 5-gallon acrylic that I bought that I put together. I'm hoping to get another tank at some point. I don't know what. I'd love a peninsula tank. I think that would be kind of cool. I just have to get rid of some furniture first, and then we'll see about getting that.
Now, those tanks you were talking about, are they actively running?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
You have multiple tank syndrome too.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And I have a first order too. So that I cover all bases. I'm not, I don't discriminate on tanks.
So to wrap things up, is there anyone you would like to thank or acknowledge for their support and guidance in your reef keeping journey?
Oh, just everybody in the group, everybody in the team there at NORE, everybody that, posts on the boards and contributes in some way, to help everyone be as successful as they can be. I think everybody deserves some recognition for that, because if we didn't have each other, locally is an important part that, we might not be as good as we could be. So I think everybody deserves a shout out in that regard.
And then finally, what does winning Tank of the Month mean to you, and how does it inspire you moving forward?
It shows me that I'm doing something right, because I can look at my tank all day long. I'm the only one in the house. So it's like, okay, yeah, it looks great. But to have that come back from the community to say, hey, no, that is pretty awesome. All my friends come over and they're like, oh, wow, a tank. I'm like, yeah. And they ask me all these questions, but they have no idea, like, the details, and they don't get it. They're nice about it, but they don't really understand. Having that validation from the community, I thought that was great. It meant a lot. It really did.
And congratulations again for winning NORE Tank of the Month for May. As the winner this month, our winner is going to get a 2-year subscription to Coral Magazine. And then you also get a $25 gift certificate for NORE's newest sponsor, Cleveland Aquatic Gems. So we sent over your information. That should be coming soon. Go support Cleveland Aquatic Gems. Everyone watching this, they're a great new local store in the Cleveland area. So if you get the chance, go out and support them. Thanks for jumping on here with me. It was great seeing your tanks, seeing these videos. Anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
No, not really. I just wanted to thank you guys again for giving me this honor and privilege, and I hope to see you all at the swap in September.
Awesome. Thank you, Becky.
Sorry.
Oh, I need to move that way. So say bye, dude.
Bye.
Say bye, dude. Now you're not going to say anything. You're like, oh, no. Can you at least smile? He doesn't know. Can you at least smile? Say bye.